is an Easter egg guide for the map Terminus in Black Ops 6. This is going to be a guide that takes you through the entire Easter egg, super simple, super easy, and is going to work for both solo or with a squad. Without further ado, let's get started. For this Easter egg, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend putting on the ASG shotgun onto your class before you load in. It's super powerful. It's gonna carry you through this Easter egg super well. And once you get into the map, you're gonna activate all 3 of the terminals, ending in this one to turn on power. And when you pull the pack-a-punch out of the water, all of this is guided on screen. You're gonna go ahead and pack-a-punch this shotgun, which is gonna take you through for the rest of the map. Once you pack-a-punch, you wanna make sure you get 500 salvage. Come over here and equip dead wire to the shotgun, which is gonna take us onto the first step of the Easter egg, which is actually getting the free wonder weapon. So once you have dead wire on this shotgun, or pretty much any gun you want to use for this Easter egg, activate this lift, and as you ride up, you're gonna look through this rightmost window and look for a power box. Once you're on the way up, you can shoot this power box, and that will actually send this electrocute over here, which you need to shoot again, and it'll go to this box. If you accidentally miss this one before you go all the way up, you can shoot it from the bottom of that platform. You can jump off the sides, but if you shot it correctly, you can shoot it again, and it will lead yourself all the way over to this room in here, which there will be one more electric box. Shoot it with a dead wire gun once again, and we'll open up this door. Boom, and that is the first step to getting the wonder weapon. Second step is to go to this nice lady doctor here and shoot her in the face. She's gonna drop a part, which you're gonna go ahead and pick up, the EMF fob, and that is the first step to getting the free wonder weapon. Now, once you have this Beamsmasher first card over here in your inventory, you're gonna head to this room where there's the big machine growling at you and open up this box. This is going to give you a Resonator, which you're gonna pick up and then take back to the room that we just spawned in once you take out all of these bugs that spawn in your room. Once you're back in this room we opened, we're gonna put this right on top of there, and that will activate the next step of the Easter egg. After activating the computer, we're gonna need to go to the quick revive machine and turn on the first of 3 machines around the map, labeled with the Y, X, and Z. Turn on the first one right here next to quick revive. The second computer you need to turn on is right next to stamina up. Go ahead and head outside from here, and you can see the second one right here labeled Z. Turn that on. Again, these symbols you don't actually need to remember at all. These are gonna be shown to you later. And the final one is gonna be right underneath elemental pop and right where we got the first part out of the hand. Hop over this railing right here, head down just toward the boat docks, and the third one will be right here. After turning the 3 on, we'll move on to the next step. So after turning on all 3 computers, head back to the original room and interact with this computer. It will paste all 3 sticky notes, and once all 3 sticky notes are here, you have a choice. You can learn a very basic math equation with me to solve it for your game, or you can run back over to Peck, pay him 5,000 points, and he will solve it instantly. There will be a character quote from Peck saying, "I will solve this for a price. It costs 5,000 points, so if you don't want to do this math that I'm about to explain to you in the next step, you just want to be done with it, and you don't want to turn your brain on, go ahead, deposit 5,000 points in here, and he will give you the exact code on this screen." But we're gonna solve it here if you guys care to learn. So if you want to save yourself 5,000 points and solve this code, it's actually very easy. The first thing to do, ignore this in particular, ignore this entire whiteboard, and you're gonna figure out what your X, your Y, and your Z stand for. So for your X, you're gonna look at this symbol, and you're gonna match this symbol exactly where it is on this whiteboard. As you can see, it's right here, and it's very simple. You just do 2, 2. My X equals 22. For Y, we're gonna follow the same process. Look at Y, it's a filled in circle over a not filled in circle. 1, 0, this is a 10. Y is a 10. Last but not least, we need to get the Z. We look for this symbol on the board. It's right there, 21. My Z is 21. Now, once you have all your numbers, you're done with this sheet, and you're done with this right here. All you need to do is use this and plug it into the math equation. This changes every game, but for my game, it was 2 times 22 plus 11 equals 55 as my first number. This one is 2 times 21 plus 10 minus 5 is 47 for my second number. And my last number, make sure, again, this is absolute value. This number cannot be negative. If it's negative, just change it to positive. So this is 10 plus 21 minus 22. For me, this is 9. So my code in my game is 55, 47, 9. And all I have to do is plug that in right here. So once you put your code in, click space to unlock. Once you have done this correctly, this will start flashing around. You can either enter the code by solving it, or again, pay 5,000 to Peck and he will show the code on his monitors. Either way, if you've entered it correctly, this will start flashing around. And once you are at this point, all you need to do is end the round, and whenever the round flips, it will locate a spot, and then you just go ahead and grab this thing back off the top, and you are ready to move on to the next step. So once you follow the location on the map, you should arrive at this island that was marked at the very, very start. Literally, that map is a 1-to-1 replica. And when you get here, you should find this part encased inside this tomb. Holding F on it will activate it, start spawning a bunch of zombies, and then you just need to wait for this orb to zap a zombie that you bring over like so. Zap zombie, kill, grab the energy, and insert it inside. You'll have to do this 2 to 3 times depending on how many players are in your game before it moves to another island. Second zombie has been zapped, kill it, grab the energy, place it inside, and it will go to another island in which you must follow it over. Again, make sure you pick up this part that is dropped on the ground, or else you'll have to come back and get it later and follow it to the second island. So upon arriving on the second island, again, same exact thing. It's gonna be a different element this time around. Hold F to activate this little mini lockdown. It'll start spawning zombies and wait for this to zap one. First zombie zapped, kill it, grab the energy. Be careful not to die because you can only use one hand during this. Insert it in, you're good to go for the next one. Second zombie zapped, kill it, grab the energy, bring it back over, insert it in, orb will go flying off, and then grab the part from the ground as it flies off. Again, once arriving on the next island, same exact process, turn it on, wait for the zombie zap, and then finish it off. Kill the zombie, grab the energy, insert it in there. Next zombie zapped, kill it, insert the energy in. Step is done. Grab the canister off the ground, and you now have every single part you need to craft the wonder weapon. So once collecting the last part off the beach, you can go ahead and head over to the original room and craft the Beamsmasher. After doing it for a few seconds, you will get the Beamsmasher, which is the first step of the Easter egg. Again, you can get this out of the mystery box in order to start the Easter egg, but considering how rare it is and how many levels you have to go up in order to get a better chance of getting it, I strongly recommend you go ahead and get set up and do this Easter egg in order to unlock it. Again, if you would like to get it out of the mystery box, you can do that. But once you have the Beamsmasher, you can start the next step of the Easter egg. Once you have the Beamsmasher in hand, you can start the first real step of the Easter egg, which is going to be trying to find a hard drive out of one of the tentacle traps. This is the first one you can turn on. It is a randomized 1 of 3 chance. You zap this middle head here for a few seconds, and if nothing pops out, you actually have a different one in your game. I'm gonna show you the other 2 spawn locations now. The next location is next to Pack-a-Punch. If you take a right from Pack-a-Punch, go ahead and turn on this trap, crouch underneath, shoot the middle head for a few seconds. Again, if nothing spits out, this is not your one. And if it's not that one, it can only be the last one, which is again, right next to Pack-a-Punch over on the other side. Same exact process, turn on the trap, sit underneath it, crouching, and shoot the middle head. It will spew out the hard drive, which you will pick up from the ground, and now you need to take it to Peck up in the control station. So once you have the hard drive in hand, again, take it over to Peck. You're gonna insert it into this little case and get a big quote from him. So once Peck has finished his quote, he will tell you he's unlocking the door to Nathan, which again is over here. You hold F and then he will open it up to see Nathan's face. So at this point, we are going to need a 3-digit code, and the first digit is over here by Quick Revive. Head to this window and look inside, and you'll see a clock, and you take a look at what time it is. This time is 7:23, so you're gonna take the 7. Every single time, it's whatever the hour hand is closest to. If you just back it up to the nearest number, that is going to tell you what time it is. Chat said I needed to explain exactly how to read a clock, so look where the number is, and then make it go backwards to the nearest number before then. This is 7:23, and that means our first number is a 7. Very, very easy. The second number is actually just down the hill here inside of the mess hall. And once you get inside of the mess hall, you're gonna look for a playing card on the board. As you can see, our playing card this game is number 6. This will change every single game. So right now our code is 76. And the last number again is just through here where Jug is. You're gonna go over to where this workbench is and look next to it, and you're gonna look at the number of days since last injury. This one is 4, so our code is 764, and you're gonna take that back down to the Pack-a-Punch room. So at this point in the Easter egg, you need to get pretty darn set up. I would say get a couple perks, at least Jug, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, Deadshot for extra headshot damage, and get your weapons Pack-a-Punch to at least tier 2, tier 3, get your rarities up from base rarity to at least purple, because the next thing you're doing is a boss fight. And when you are set up and when you're ready to do it, go ahead to the machine in the middle of the room, enter into your code, and then have everybody in your game, whether you're solo or 4 players, go hold F on the side to start the boss fight. Again, I'm warning you now, get pretty set up for this because this is pretty much the point where the Easter egg gets a lot harder. So get set up, get ready for the boss fight, and then get in here and kill him, and you'll get a mini mid-game cutscene for the first time that you kill him here. So once you have killed the boss, you're gonna go ahead and dive into the water. Underneath each one of these platforms, there's going to be a golden key card in the water, which you need to go dive down and pick up, and then get ready for another mini boss. Once you have the key card from killing Nathan, you're gonna head over to the ship. Again, be ready for a little mini fight here because you're gonna be locked in with a bunch of zombies, but you're gonna jump up on this thing, and now that you have the key card, it is going to open up. You will see these canisters on the window, and the second you take one, this is going to close up, and you're gonna have to do a mini lockdown with a bunch of zombies spawning in. It's just a survival thing, so just survive until this latch opens again. So once finishing, a max ammo will spawn, and with the node connector still on your back, again, you won't be able to sprint whenever you have this on your back. You're gonna enter into the raft, and you're gonna go check one of 3 locations. There are essentially 2 locations that need node connectors, and one of them will already have one in place. The first one is super easy. It's just on this island, just outside here, and you're gonna need to, again, build this, so make sure you clear out a couple zombies before you do. But once you clear these guys out, hold F on this area right here. Again, there might be one here already, but if there's not, repair it, place it in there, and then head back to the boat for the second one. So once you're back, grab the second node, and again, hop back in your boat, and you're gonna go check one of the 2 other locations. Again, one of the nodes will already be on, but you're just checking which one is still missing a node. The first node location is, again, right here next to this boat spawner. It will be right there. As you can see, this is the one that already has one in my game, so I'm gonna take the second one over here to the tunnels right next to Speed Cola. Again, going inside of the tunnel where Speed Cola is, you will find another node connector that possibly needs it sitting here right next to Speed Cola, and once you repair that, you are completed with the step, and you should get an audio quote from Sam. So once Samantha finishes yapping, tells everyone to meet at the guard station, that is exactly what you're gonna do. Head over here and she will start yapping once again. So once they are finished yapping, this hacking device will spawn in. So before going on to the next step, especially if you are on solo, you are going to need to get very, very set up. After completing the next step, which is activating 3 buoys around the map, a 5-minute timer is going to start until your game is over. It is going to arm nukes around the map, and after 5 minutes, those nukes are gonna blow up and end it. If you are playing on solo, you need to craft 2 monkey bombs and be ready to craft a 3rd during this last step, because you need to interact with bombs to disarm them. There are 3 of them to interact with, and you have to hold them down for about 10 seconds and survive all of the zombies attacking you. If you're playing in a squad, just get your weapons upgraded and be ready to defend the person. But if you're playing solo, please, 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 before going on to this next step, craft 2 monkey bombs in your inventory to protect yourself, and then be ready to craft a 3rd with enough salvage. Once you have all that set up, you can move on to the next step. Once you're in the boat and you have the hacking device, you're basically just gonna make an entire loop around the edges of the map. First thing you need to do is just clear out all these parasites that are gonna be spawned around each one. Jump into the water and just hold F on all of these beacons. You will pull out the Project Janus hacking device, and you will then trigger a timer, which is going to count down from 2 minutes, and essentially you have plenty of time, but you just need to get to all 3 before the timer runs out. So again, making your way along the outsides of the map, the next one is going to be up at the top. Just make your way around the outside once again. It's very, very easy to find. Go ahead, hack this, and once it's done, you have done 2 out of 3, and you can head to the next area. And the last one is right here, just south of the boat. Again, head here, there will be a couple birds just flying around. Kill those, jump in the water, and use your laptop one more time, hack the signal, and then the timer will stop, and you are done with this step. So at this point, she will actually arm a 5-minute countdown in which you need to go to the main control room and defuse multiple of these things around the map. So once you start the 5-minute countdown, again, you'll have 5 minutes to interact with 3 different things. Starting from Pack-a-Punch, here's the location of all 3 bombs. Every single one is inside of this main room. The first one is just down these stairs to the left. Again, you'll have to hold this down for about 10 seconds in order for it to deactivate the bomb. The second one is right above Melee Macchiato, but we're not gonna do that one just yet, because if we keep running along this bottom section, there's another one right here. Interact with this one right now. And then the third one, again, you can do this in any order, it doesn't have to be any particular order, is actually right all the way here above Melee Macchiato. So they're all on this side of the room. You need to interact with all 3, it will disarm the bombs, and you need to do it within 5 minutes. Again, these doors are closed at the start, but they will unlock during this step. You need to disarm all 3 in 5 minutes. Don't take your time, don't rush too much, and make sure you survive. If you need to craft more monkey bombs, it is right here on the table. Go to Tactical and craft those monkey bombs, especially if you're on solo. It is a lifesaver. So once you have defused all of the bombs, you are actually ready to go into the boss fight, which you can activate by going right here and just voting to go into the boss fight with your entire team in the menu. However, before you do that, you need to get completely set up. This boss fight is very, very difficult. I would recommend getting 2 Pack-a-Punch tier 3 weapons, all the way to Pack-a-Punch tier 3 with Deadwire, and also getting them to gold tier rarity. I would recommend getting a chopper gunner in your inventory because it's very, very useful against the final boss. I would also recommend getting tier 3 armor, stacking up on plates, making sure you have have good gobblegums. Everything you can possibly do to get ready will make this so much easier. If you run out of ammo in the boss fight, you are going to lose. And the ammos are a little bit sparse, especially if you're not dealing enough damage. So get everything ready to go for the boss fight, and then when you're ready to go, enter in through this door. So after finishing the cutscene and getting into the boss fight, there will be a big red boil that spawns on the octopus, and this is the main way that you do damage in phase 1. However, in phase 1, there are 2 main attacks you need to watch out for that the octopus is going to do. The first of which is slamming both of his arms down in front of him, dealing massive damage, about 2/3 of your health if you're standing underneath it, or he will slam his arms on one side of the arena and slide them over, basically doing a big sweep attack and doing a ton of damage that way too. Those are the main 2 attacks you need to watch out for, while avoiding those and doing damage to the red boils until you take about 1/3 of his health. The only other thing that is helpful in this first area, in this first phase, is these tentacles will be basically floating all around the arena, and eventually sometimes they will have big glowing yellow weak spots to shoot. If you shoot these, you can actually make the tentacles go away, and when you make those go away, they will no longer be shooting projectiles at you. It's not a requirement, it does a little bit of damage to the octopus, but really you're just making your life easier by just not having to deal with as many projectiles all the time and creating big stink clouds on the ground. That is essentially all it is for phase 1. Do damage to red boils, avoid the slam, and kill the tentacles whenever you have a free moment and the octopus is underwater or something. Once you get him to 1/3 health, you'll go to phase 2. So when phase 2 starts, it's essentially the exact same as phase 1. You're gonna do damage to him in the same way, except that now there are 2 big glowing yellow spots on his arms that he's gonna stick up in the air for you to shoot. Make sure you take those out. They're a requirement to get into the next phase, and they will deal massive damage whenever you actually destroy them. Same thing, bunch of tentacles around the edge of the map. You'll have to avoid his slam attacks and whatnot, and also there will be a couple more special zombies for you to take out. Don't let these pile up. Make sure you take them out early whenever they spawn, focus fire on them, and then just kill the octopus as normal, getting him down to 1/3 health. The only other thing I should mention for phase 2 is sometimes he will go into his rock armor skin formation. It'll be very obvious. It'll be kind of like a reddish glow all around his body. And when he's in this mode, the only place you can damage really is in his mouth. Everything else will take barely any damage, but in his mouth, he will take like quadruple damage. So just make sure you shoot him in the mouth whenever this formation actually happens, and you should get to phase 3 very easily. So phase 3, again, there are new mechanics you need to watch out for. The number 1 most important one to watch out for is that he has an AoE massive wipe attack that will kill anyone in direct eye contact with him on the map. The number 1 way to avoid this is whenever you hear him go basically like he's charging up, he turns blue and he looks like he's charging up for a massive attack, dive underwater and stay underwater until you see a massive shockwave emitted from the octopus. And then you're good to climb back out, go up the ladder. And also, just big tip, being in the water is a great place to heal, because you basically, as long as you're close enough to the arena, you don't dive too far away or go too close to the octopus, you actually just don't take much damage in the water. You're away from the zombies. It's a great place to jump in and heal. Big pro tip for this. If you're feeling stressed, about to die, jump in the water as long as it's not right on top of the octopus. Anyway, the only other thing you need to know is for this phase, once again, you're shooting the red boils, you're shooting his arms if they go up and glow yellow, and the other thing you need to know is that if he's glowing blue and he's not doing a wipe attack and you're wondering why you can't damage him, you just need to shoot him in the eyes. There will be glowing eyes for you to shoot. Once you shoot all of those eyes, he will basically stop being in this big blue glowy mode, and you can actually take him out much easier by going back to shooting the red boils. Final attack that he actually learns for phase 3 that you need to watch out for is he will actually stick his tongue out of his mouth, and if he grabs you or any of your teammates, he can actually grab multiple people at once. He will suck you back in, eat you, and then instantly kill you. At this point in time, there is no known way to actually counter this. We've tried doing a bunch of damage to his mouth, it hasn't worked. We've tried doing damage to his boils, it hasn't worked. If anything is found on how to actually, avoid this attack if you do get grabbed, I'll put it in the very top of the description. But at this current moment, if you see a tongue come out, run the other way, jump in the water, stay away from this, because it's once again an insta-kill wipe attack. It doesn't matter how much health you have, you just absolutely die. Once you do this though, avoid his attacks. Once again, he'll be slamming, he'll be doing his shockwave AoE one-shot wipe attack, he'll be doing his normal attacks, and again, the tentacles will be out there. Basically, just avoid all those attacks. He will sometimes cut the arena in half as well. You can dive underwater to go around if you need to go to the backside of him or anything like that. Essentially, just keep doing damage. Should be very easy as long as you are upgraded enough. And there it is. You have completed the Easter egg. Congratulations, Terminus is complete. Thank you guys so much for watching the tutorial. If you have any questions at all about this or want to find a squad, go down into the comment section, leave your Activision account, your PS5 account, your Xbox account, your Battle.net, whatever it is you want to play on. You can find some people to play with down below in the comment section. And I hope you guys complete this on your first attempt. It's a very fun Easter egg, and I think Treyarch did an absolutely amazing job with this final boss fight. That being said, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye-bye.